Now, here's something that you don't hear daily. Nearly 400 millionaires and billionaires from around the world are calling on governments to raise taxes on the super rich, warning that extreme wealth is corrupting democracy, distorting politics, and deepening global inequality. This open letter has been released to coincide with the World Economic Forum taking place in Switzerland's Davos, where political leaders, corporate executives, and some of the world's wealthiest people are meeting this week. Among the signatories are actor Mark Ruffalo, musician Brian Eno, and philanthropist Abigail Disney, all arguing that unchecked wealth is buying political influence and hollowing out democratic systems. In unusually blunt language, the letter states that a small group of ultra-wealthy oligarchs have, quote, bought up our democracies, taken over governments, gagged media freedoms, and accelerated the breakdown of the planet, unquote. The signatories also say that the widening gap between the super rich and everybody else is no longer just an economic issue, but a direct threat to democracy, social cohesion, and climate action. This call comes as new data show just how stark the wealth divide has become. A poll conducted for the patriotic Millionaires group found that 77% of millionaires in G20 countries believe that extremely wealthy individuals are buying political influence. Nearly two-thirds of those surveyed said that they support higher taxes on the super rich, so that money can fund public services. In fact, just 17% opposed this. More than 60% also said extreme wealth now poses a serious threat to democracy. The open letter also comes at a time where wealth and power have become increasingly intertwined worldwide. According to Forbes, the U.S. President Donald Trump assembled the richest cabinet in American history following his re-election, with a combined net worth estimated at $7.5 billion. Meanwhile, development charity Oxfam says that billionaire wealth surged at a record pace in 2025, pushing the global number of billionaires past 3,000 for the first time. Oxfam also warned that the richest 1% now own 3 times more wealth than the world's total public wealth combined, calling this wealth gap obscene and unsustainable. The open letter's authors say even many of the wealthy now recognize that the system is breaking, arguing that progressive taxation is no longer radical but necessary to preserve democratic institutions. As world leaders debate economic growth and stability in Davos, the message is clear: tax extreme wealth or risk letting inequality undermine democracy itself. Meet Veronica, a 13-year-old Austrian cow who is reminding all of us that intelligence doesn't always look like a human mind. A clear winner when it comes to being self-reliant, Veronica has been doing something which no cow has ever been officially recorded doing before. When she has an itch, she doesn't wait for a rub against the fence or a human to help her. Instead, she picks up a brush or a stick, positions it carefully, and scratches herself. And this isn't just any random act. Researchers observed that Veronica used different parts of the same tool for different jobs. The rough bristles of the brush for her back, the smooth handle for more sensitive areas like her belly. And this behavior, as per researchers, meets the scientific definition of tool use, something which is usually seen in chimpanzees, crows, and dolphins, but not cattle. Veronica is challenging the assumption that cows have limited perceptions. Veronica is displaying problem-solving skills, and researchers say that her environment might be the key. Veronica isn't confined to a factory farm. She has space, time, and objects to interact with, giving her the opportunity to discover solutions on her own. And science is literally scratching the surface. Turning our attention to the Korean peninsula, where Seoul has issued a stark warning that North Korea's nuclear program is accelerating faster than the world can contain it. South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung says that Pyongyang is now producing enough nuclear material every single year to build as many as 20 nuclear weapons. He says that the regime already holds dozens of warheads and shows no signs of slowing down. North Korea first tested a nuclear bomb in 2006, defying the United Nations bans. Nearly 2 decades later, President Lee says that the threat has grown far beyond the Korean peninsula. He warns that the North is steadily upgrading long-range missiles designed to reach the American mainland. In fact, Lee says that the regime's goal is clear: secure a nuclear stockpile large enough to protect itself and pair it with intercontinental missiles capable of threatening not just the US, but the entire world. And the South Korean president also highlighted dangers about export. Lee has warned that once North Korea builds more weapons material than it needs, it could begin selling it beyond its borders, turning a regional crisis into a global emergency. The South Korean leader says halting nuclear production, freezing missile development, and blocking overseas transfers would benefit every nation. He says that he has raised these concerns directly with American President Trump and the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Since taking office in June last year, Lee has called for talks with Pyongyang without preconditions, but the North has rejected Seoul's offers. Lee now looks towards Washington. He says that Trump, who met with Kim Jong-un 3 times during his first term, may be the only leader with the influence to reopen the path toward denuclearization.